Do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Why so?
So my reason is the DEI programs.
Okay. Which specific DEI
And
program did Kamala Harris support that you disagree with?
no, the elimination of them. I don't think that they were very helpful to begin with. And I think a lot of people, including you, Parker, don't really know what it is. Also, I went to debate camp, so like I know how to do this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not proud of it, but like, dude, I was forced to go to debate camp. Right? People
Okay.
went to summer camp. I went to debate camp.
Okay. So which specific DEI programs do you disagree with?
DEI in general. First of all, it's not like a specific program. It's DEI in general,
So all
right?
DEI?
So each company, yeah, each company has a DEI program,
Okay.
and I know people are now.
Can I respond to this? So for example, do you think that there shouldn't be like for example, you go to the mall and there are ramps for people who are disabled?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, yeah. You're
That's
gonna go
DEI.
here.
That's
You're
DEIA.
going to DEIA, DEIA. Yes. Well, the elimination is DEI. You think they're gonna really eliminate ramps for like disabled people? No, dude. That is just an easy argument that you're trying to make because they want to eliminate DEI, and then you guys liberals love to add the A part and acting like now people can't like traverse.
Disabled. Don't say that.
Sorry. Disabled people can't like traverse everyday situations. Like no, they're not gonna eliminate that part. What they're eliminating, and you know this because if you know Donald Trump, he's eliminating the race part of it, and it's not actually
Okay,
eliminated.
when you're speaking of DEI, you're just referencing DEI in relation to race. You're not referencing DEI in relation to women. You're not referencing DEI in relation to
No,
uh,
GI also no, it has to do with race. It also has to do with women,
race,
and
gender. What
it
else?
apparently has to also do with veterans.
Do you agree with it with veterans?
He's not there. They are not eliminating it for any of those classes, by the way. Right there,
Okay. So then, what do you want to eliminate DNA? Or I mean, not DNA. Sorry, what the fuck? What do you want to eliminate DEI for?
because it imposes like a lot of extra work for people to accommodate the government requirements.
You mean just hiring or not hiring? Not even hiring. You mean just like interviewing women?
So yeah, okay, finally someone knows about this. Sorry. Um, so yes, it requires you to interview a
Yes.
minimum number of people. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
All right.
so. Like
By
what's
the
wrong with interviewing women?
Well, it doesn't really do anything because if you want to hire whatever company you want, all you have to do is document it well enough to show that you prefer a non DI company to an actual DI company. So it doesn't actually do anything. All it does is create more paperwork.
No, no, no. What you're not understanding is like we're referencing, for example, for like say the for Congress, right? That in order to look or not for Congress for government positions, in order for them to
Yeah,
hire people, they have to also look at look at like applications from women. The
yeah,
idea that you
yes.
only are going to look at applications from men, I think, is problematic in of
No, no, no.
itself.
But that's the thing. DI requires you to document it. It doesn't mean you can't interview women or minorities if you don't have these DI requirements. All it means is that you don't have to have these stringent documentation requirements from the government. That's all it means. You can,
Are
you
you
can,
documenting who you are interviewing?
you have to, yeah.
You
Because if you
wait. So
don't
then, if you
hire,
do that anyway, right?
exactly,
So
you're
then,
making
what
my
extra
point.
paperwork is it if you do that anyway?
No, because specifically you get reviewed on the DI papers specifically, which says like okay, you had like what this position required the X amount of requirements, and then you were required to interview X three, usually it's three, or at least in my state it's three DI individuals, and you must document if you do not choose a DI person, you must document exactly why you did not, and it creates just more paperwork. When if that individual was
Oh
good
my
for the job.
god, dude. Oh
Hire
my god,
them.
the paperwork.
No,
So
oh my God,
I
dude.
think that's okay if it's preventing discrimination.
But the thing is, it's easily circumvented by just documentation. That's the thing, right? It's like it's what Democrats do, right? Like, oh, like we're presenting that we're doing this good thing, but
Why don't you just pull
oh,
yourself up by your bootstraps and stop being so lazy?
what? I don't know how
I'm
that
using
fits.
the age old conservative argument. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Stop being so lazy and just do it.
Okay, and I would agree with that.
Okay, it seems like there's no argument then. Bree, thank you for
No,
the
no,
$5. Thank
because
you.
you're not disagreeing with me when you say that. Because what I'm saying is that like you're not required to interview X amount of people. You're required to interview the best individual for the position.
Wait, interview. You're just interviewing. You still can select the best individual.
Yes, but you're not required to interview more individuals just to adhere to a policy. You're just interviewing the people who meet the requirements. That's it. And also, by the way, if you ever did an application, I'm not sure that you have working on TikTok, but if you ever made an application, you don't put your race on your paper, right? And like you don't even do that to begin with.
Like when you apply for jobs.
Yeah,
I pretty sure you do.
I'm pretty sure you don't. Like
I
you
mean
have your resume.
the
You send in your
entire. I mean,
resume.
hey, I'm not someone
Send in
that's.
your resume, dude.
I just want to clarify. I'm not someone that's sent around my resume a bunch of places. This has been my job since I've
Clearly.
been in college.
Yeah.
So like
Okay.
this has been what I've been doing. I haven't sent but I did do resume work specifically within college to like build up resumes,
You
and I
didn't
did
work at like a
hear
McDonald's or something
no.
like growing up. Like you didn't do, dude. What? You didn't work any regular job?
This is a regular job, but no, I didn't work any other job. No.
Okay. Well, the point being is that you send your resume. Okay. You might not be familiar with this, but this is what you do.
The entire
And
chat is saying otherwise. I mean, the entire chat's done that, right?
well, I'm not reading it, but what are they saying?
The entire chat is saying that you have to.
No, you send your resume to apply for a position, dude. What?
What?
I have no idea what anyone else is saying.
I never said resume for position. I said that I have familiarity with like resumes and with like the job application process from like school, but not from sending applications myself. That's what I was saying.
Okay, but the point being is that when you send a resume, you don't write your race in the resume. Okay, so what they're hiring on
It's
is
in the
resume.
application.
No, no. First of all, you apply to a position, you just send your resume. You're not like filling a role in some
Is it
cases.
in the application?
In some cases, yeah, sure, yeah, you're
Okay.
right. Yeah, okay, fine. You're right about that. Okay, forget about that. But
Yeah, Santana just sent me that job applications have a section for race.
not all of them, not all of them, but some of them do. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I could you, I don't know. Maybe they're, I don't know. Whatever.
But the point being is that okay, that is just used to fulfill the requirement of like, hey, you need to interview X, Y, Z amount of people, right? But really, first of all, when the hiring manager, they don't get the race part of that application. They just get your resume, right? They review it and then they interview and then that's it. Right. So it's creating more work to fulfill the requirements of the DI requirements when you can still hire DI requirements and not have to like deal with all the paperwork. And that's all I'm saying.
So
I'm not
your
against
whole reason,
DI.
so the reason why
I'm
you
just against the paperwork
so to
requirement.
clarify, you voted for a guy held civilly liable of woman who sent false slates of electors to the electoral college to cast Trump votes when he didn't win to try to steal the election, who called for the termination of the Constitution, who said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years, who bragged about walking the changing rooms of girls from Miss USA because he quote unquote owns the place to inspect them without their consent because there's a little bit extra paperwork from DEI programs. That's it. That's the reason.
You're going to your cream of the crop argument, okay? I was just arguing the DI part,
I
okay?
understand, but is that
Are
the
you
only
right
reason?
about that part of it?
Is that the only reason?
No, it's also the economy, but no, also the economy, but I don't want to talk about that. I will
Why
agree with
not?
you on what stuff you just said because why don't I agree on the economy?
Yeah.
because God damn it. Well, first of all, I think in the long run, all right, feel free to drop me whenever you want when we get into this argument. But like, all right, I feel that the tariffs are a short-term strategy to create long-term gains.
Okay, sure. Like, how do you have any good evidence of that? And also, why would I kick you off for saying that?
Well, because I didn't really want to delve into this whole economy part. I was kind of just
Why not?
focusing on
Why
DI,
not?
but
You went to debate camp,
this is
bro.
uncharted territory. That's why.
Well, it's not uncharted territory.
Uncharted
Oh,
territory.
regardless of whether or not it's uncharted, you went to debate camp. You got this.
Well, if you have you been to debate camp?
No, never.
Well, yeah. Well, thank your
I
parents
actually
because
never went to camp as a kid. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't go to camp because I was scared of snakes. Not trolling.
well, I was forced to go to debate camp, right? So, and anyway, so how it works is you have to research your thesis and then you present it at the end of the camp. But anyway, um, so I didn't I did some research, not enough to debate this area, but I do know that the tariffs have not had a negative impact as large as it was initially thought it would be. Okay, that was before last night when we heard about this 40% thing that's happening. Okay, which you and I don't really know about the effects of that. Probably not great, but um, in general, it hasn't had such a large negative impact on our economy.
Because they were put on pause. So that's so a lot of them were put on pause. That's why. If you want to look at the effect of the economy, we did. The average real GDP growth has gone down. And you know what? I wasn't gonna say this because I was gonna wait until a Trump supporter would bring it up on the live. But it's been multiple days, and Trump supporters still haven't talked about this. Quarter two GDP numbers came out, and there's like 3% GDP growth for real GDP, which is good numbers back to where we were before. But we're still on average lower real GDP growth than what we were prior. And it is the case that like this brings us back to a little bit less than what we were prior, and we lost a quarter of essentially 3% growth. So that's a big issue. But like, I mean, not a single Trump supporter has brought this up on the live yet. What the hell? How are y'all so incompetent? I was seriously gonna wait until someone brings it up, but like seriously, it's been multiple days since this came out, and not a single Trump supporter has brought this up on the live. That is incompetence, like actually straight up incompetence.
I'm aware of I'm aware of that. Okay, but also, okay, like you said, the growth wasn't as great as it should be, right? You agree with that?
Yeah, the growth rate's not as good now as what it should have been if we'd never imposed the tariffs in the very first
Because
place.
of tariffs. But if you
Yeah,
reduce the
because the
tariffs
tariffs that
or
were put in place and then paused.
okay, fine, I'll give you that. But here's the thing, right? First of all, we're making trade deals, and those tariffs are going to drop as we make trade deals for each country. Okay, yeah,
Wait, repeat that one
fair.
more time. Sorry.
So we're going as we make deals with each country, the GDP is going to rise, right? Because we're going to reduce those tariffs on each of those countries once we make a deal. Second of all, well, first of all, is that not true?
You said if we make deals with the country, tariffs are gonna rise.
No, I said as we make deals with each of those countries, those tariffs are going to reduce, which will increase the economy, right? We see
I
it
mean, the tariffs
from
aren't in place right now; they're currently paused, so it will increase from the current
no,
rates at
dude,
right now.
did you see the news last night? Like it was like what we have like 41% on Syria, like 40% on a bunch of actually a bunch of Asian countries have the highest tariffs. But as we make deals with them, we're going to reduce those tariffs. Like for example,
There
let me
aren't they?
bring up
No. So
Australia,
which ones are not paused?
Australia,
So just on Australia.
uh, no, Japan, Vietnam, UK. Uh,
Wait. When did the
those are
ones
just
in for Vietnam go in effect?
oh no, dude. way earlier. I know Australia was the most recent one. Japan was the most recent before that. I think
Okay, can
South
you give me
Korea.
a source for any of this?
I think CNN.
No, can you just go find a title and come back?
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
You know, dude, I was waiting and I thought about this a while because Matt sent this to me as soon as it happened. As soon as it happened, Matt sent it. And yeah, I just. By the way, I found it before he did. There will be a 20% tariff on Vietnamese imports. And then U.S. imports to Vietnam will not be subject to tariff. So what happened to reciprocal tariffs, by the way?
Well, they're happening still
Okay.
based
So
on the trade debt.
so again, do you think that tariffs, right, are like positive for the economy?
Well, dude, obviously it's not. Okay. But I'm saying, like, once we make the deals, it would be like, for example, take EU, right? I'll give you this. It's slightly positive towards the U.S., right? And I'm pretty sure that was given by either Bloomberg or Reuters. Not sure, but it slightly benefits the U.S.
How? In what
over
way?
EU, just
In,
in terms of the benefits of the trade deal.
in like what way?
I would, well, if it's slightly benefits, I would assume by more investments or better terms in terms of the tariffs percentage against each other.
So then you'd have to be specific with what you're referencing.
Here's the other thing, Parker. Right. So when Trump is in placing these tariffs, right, it's creating a global protectionist economy, right? Which means other countries are also doing the same thing with other countries, right? So it does not mean that we're faring off worse than other countries.
Wait. So tariff rates for Canada increased today. They go into effect today, right?
Well, on a small portion of their economy,
Um,
because we have the I think it's a North America Mexico trade deal thing. So a majority of the imports we're getting from them are within that trade deal, right? There's a few that are outside of that are not subject to that deal.
yeah. I mean, you could be specific, but still, like that's still like these tariffs are still imposing, like in becoming into effect, and we're going to see the detrimental impacts of them. We saw what it was when they were originally put in place, and that's devastating.
It hasn't been devastating yet,
By the
right?
way, losing 3% real GDP growth is pretty devastating. I'm not gonna lie.
I
Like,
think you said we
I
gained
no,
3%.
I understand, but like we should have had that in the first quarter, and we didn't because Donald
Well,
Trump imposed the
neither is
tariffs.
any country in the world. Neither is any country in the
I
world.
want you to think about what is 1% of our GDP.
300 million? I don't know.
No.
30 million?
No. So three. So 1% of our of 1% of over 20 trillion. What is that?
That would be what, 2 million? 20 million? 20
Mil
million
20 million?
of 20 trillion? Yeah, the 20 billion, I guess. 20 billion.
200 billion, right? That's 1%. So 3% is $600 billion.
Okay, and what do
And
you use that?
that's assuming 20 trillion is our
Yeah, but
GDP, which is
Parker, you have
higher.
to
It's higher
compare it.
now.
You have to compare it to the rest of the world as well, right? And the rest of the world is also, their economies are going down as well.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No, the real GDP decline only happened for us.